What if in just 30 days from now, the life you are imagining, the abundance you are hungering for, the miracle you have long desired, is not only possible but inevitable? What if every moment you spend in gratitude is a seed planted in the invisible field of imagination, destined to bloom into undeniable fact before your eyes? This is not wishful thinking. This is law. This is the great secret. You will witness miracles in 30 days if you dare to remain in the state of gratitude for what is already yours. Gratitude is not a reaction to what has been given. It is the evidence that you already possess the thing you desire. When you allow yourself to feel genuine thankfulness, you are no longer standing at the edge of longing. You are standing at the center of fulfillment. Many people imagine that gratitude is simply a polite response to life's events. But in truth, it is the most creative force you can call upon, for it is the vibration of ownership. When you feel thankful, you shift the inner state from absence to possession, from yearning to having. That feeling is what compels reality to reflect your inner conviction. Each time you pause and say quietly within yourself, "Thank you," you are confirming to the unseen power that the miracle is already yours. You are not begging. You are not waiting. You are not hoping. You are living in the end. And in that living, the invisible begins to take form. Gratitude is not empty words. It is the language of God spoken through feeling. Consider the difference between asking for a gift and receiving it. When you ask, there is tension. There is distance. There is an unspoken declaration that you do not yet have what you seek. But the moment the gift is placed in your hand, your entire state changes. Relief, joy, and appreciation pour through you, and the words thank you flow naturally, because the gift is real and tangible. Gratitude is the feeling of that moment. But you are not asked to wait for the physical evidence before you feel it. You are asked to assume it now, to clothe yourself in the emotion of completion before the senses confirm it. When you can do that, you are declaring, in the only language the law of consciousness understands, I already am the one who has received. And the law must reflect that identity. When you train yourself to dwell in gratitude, you are no longer tossed about by appearances. If the bank account looks empty, you give thanks that it is overflowing. If the door appears shut, you give thanks that it has already opened. The outer world may argue, but it cannot withstand the inner conviction of gratitude. For gratitude does not argue with conditions. It declares conditions fulfilled. Every thank you you breathe into your imagination is a command to the unseen to rearrange itself. You are like the sculptor who does not wait for the stone to shape itself, but presses the chisel with every stroke of gratitude until the masterpiece is revealed. The world may see stone, but you see the completed figure, and in your eyes it is already done. This is why gratitude is creative power. It moves you out of the realm of struggle and places you in the vibration of already possessing. You are no longer the beggar knocking at the door. You are the honored guest seated at the table. That subtle shift of state makes all the difference. Life cannot withhold from you when you live in gratitude. For gratitude is the evidence that you have claimed what is yours. Imagine for 30 days carrying this state of constant thankfulness. Imagine yourself refusing to be persuaded by lack or delay, and instead living each moment as though the miracle has already unfolded. You will notice the difference almost instantly. Your inner speech will quiet, your anxieties will dissolve, and your heart will rest in the sweetness of assurance. That peace itself is the miracle beginning to move. To understand how this works, you must see gratitude as the key that unlocks the door to the end fulfilled. Neville often spoke of living in the end, of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and refusing to move from it. Gratitude is the bridge that carries you there. When you thank life for your desire, you are no longer chasing it. You are standing in the afterglow of its arrival. Gratitude is not about waiting for something to happen. It is the declaration that it has already happened. It takes your focus off the lack and places it squarely on the state of fulfillment. That is why gratitude is so powerful. It collapses time, it erases distance. It brings the unseen into the seen, because you have assumed the end as present. Think of a traveler who has already reached the destination. There is no worry about the journey, no wondering whether the road will bring him there. He simply enjoys the experience because he knows he has arrived. Gratitude places you in that same state of completion. Each time you enter into thankfulness, you are declaring to yourself and to the universe that the end is secured. And once that state is accepted, the outer world must conform. The law is exact. The outer always mirrors the inner. If for 30 days you live in gratitude, you will be living from the end, not toward it, and you will see the inevitable manifestation of the miracle. The error most people make is to treat gratitude as something to be expressed only after evidence appears. They wait for the healed body to feel thankful. They wait for the financial blessing to celebrate. They wait for the relationship to rejoice. In doing so, they delay the manifestation because they are still living from lack. The law responds not to words, but to states. And the state of waiting is the state of not yet having. Gratitude in advance corrects this error. It shifts the focus from waiting to receiving, from longing to fulfillment. You need not struggle to make this shift. Simply close your eyes, imagine your desire accomplished, and let the natural feeling of thankfulness rise within you. It is as though you have already received the call, already touched the prize, already lived the moment. That is the secret. Gratitude before evidence is faith. And faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Gratitude anchors you in the end, but the end itself is not a faraway point in the future. It is a state of consciousness you can inhabit right now. By giving thanks as if it were already yours, You transport yourself to that state instantly. You begin to think from the desire, not of the desire. The difference is immense. Thinking of the desire keeps it at arm's length. Thinking from the desire means you are already inside it. Gratitude makes this shift natural. It dissolves the need to force or strain because it is the natural response of possession. For 30 days, if you discipline yourself to live in that response, you will find the line between imagination and reality disappearing. The things you once held only in vision will begin to crystallize into facts. To dwell in gratitude is to dwell in the law of the end fulfilled. You must live as though it has already happened, and gratitude makes that living possible. It is the invisible bridge that carries you from the world of appearances to the world of truth. When you give thanks for the miracle, before the senses can verify it, you have crossed the bridge. You are already standing in the new state. And once you are in that state, the outer world cannot help but conform. This is not magic. This is law. Consciousness creates reality, and gratitude is the signature of consciousness fulfilled. So each day, train your inner eye to look beyond appearances. If the evidence of the senses denies your desire, smile inwardly and give thanks anyway. Do not resist the outer, simply transcend it. Gratitude does not fight lack. It renders lack powerless by refusing to acknowledge it. To be grateful in the face of lack is to declare, I do not live by appearances. I live by imagination. And in that declaration, you have already won. If you hold to this for 30 days, you will notice that life begins to bend toward you. Unexpected opportunities arise. Conversations open new doors. Synchronicities align. What once seemed impossible begins to unfold with ease. Gratitude has cleared the channel, and the flow of abundance rushes in. You will not need to strive or manipulate circumstances, for gratitude has already arranged the outcome. You are simply the witness of its unfolding. What you continuously whisper within yourself is the script upon which your world is staged. The inner conversations you carry, whether deliberate or unconscious, are the invisible threads weaving the garment of your life. If those threads are spun with doubt, complaint, or expectation of delay, then the world reflects that pattern. But when inner speech is filled with gratitude, when it echoes with thank you for the miracle already received, you have altered the entire play of life. Gratitude transforms inner dialogue from the anxious chatter of lack into the confident celebration of fulfillment. Imagine the difference between repeating within, when will it come, and quietly declaring, thank you that it is here. The first statement binds you to absence, while the second anchors you in possession. Gratitude rescripts the drama from within, and consciousness, being creative, compels the outer stage to reflect the lines you are rehearsing in secret. In the silence of your own mind, you are planting seeds that no one else sees. Each word of gratitude is such a seed, placed in the fertile soil of imagination. Just as a farmer trusts the process and does not dig up the soil each day to see if the seed has sprouted, so too must you allow your inner thanksgiving to rest in faith. The harvest is inevitable. 30 days of sowing thank you in the inner garden is enough to yield a transformation you cannot deny. The seed does not require effort from you to grow. It requires persistence, belief, and refusal to disturb it with contrary words. If you maintain the habit of gratitude as inner speech, you will find the harvest appearing in ways beyond calculation. What once seemed like coincidence will reveal itself as the fruit of your sustained thanksgiving. When you are careless with your inner dialogue, you unconsciously affirm separation from your desire. You rehearse fears, doubts, and complaints, and those words, though silent, take root. But the moment you take control of your inner speech and saturate it with gratitude, you reverse the current. Instead of saying silently, "I hope this works," you declare, "It has already worked, and thank you." Instead of wondering, "Will it ever happen?" you affirm, "It has happened, and thank you." This simple yet powerful change carries enormous creative weight. It may seem small, yet in the unseen realm, it is the difference between one wandering in circles and walking the straight path to fulfillment. Notice how gratitude changes even the tone of your thoughts. Where there was restlessness, there is calm. Where there was striving, there is ease. Gratitude is not a forced declaration. It flows naturally when you imagine the end as real. If you can hear the congratulatory voices of friends, if you can feel the weight of the answered prayer, then gratitude bursts forth effortlessly. Practice hearing those voices within, speaking the words you long to hear. Allow yourself to answer them in kind with "thank you, thank you." This is not fantasy, but creative action. It is the rehearsal that ensures the play will manifest as fact. The world must echo the lines you have already spoken within yourself. The practice of gratitude as daily imagination is simple yet profound. Each morning, before the world demands your attention, close your eyes and step into the scene of your fulfilled desire. Imagine it vividly, not as something far away, but as though it is already the fabric of your life. Feel the air in the room. See the details around you. Sense the joy of accomplishment. Most importantly, let gratitude rise as though the miracle is now undeniable. Whisper "thank you" as naturally as if you were holding the evidence in your hands. In that moment, the scene is sealed. You are not asking for it, you are celebrating it. At night, before drifting into sleep, repeat the practice. Enter once again into the end, but this time let it lull you into unconsciousness. The subconscious is most impressionable in this drowsy state, and whatever you impress upon it will be faithfully reproduced. To fall asleep in the feeling of thankfulness for what is already done is to ensure that your subconscious carries that state throughout the night. For hours, as you rest, the gratitude you felt becomes the silent background of your being, shaping tomorrow in its image. If you do this consistently for 30 days, The transformation is inevitable. You are training your consciousness to remain in the state of the wish fulfilled. And gratitude is the glue that holds you there. It is not about length of practice or complexity of ritual. A few moments of vivid thanksgiving are more powerful than hours of mechanical repetition. What matters is the sincerity of the feeling. If in those moments you truly feel as though the miracle is already accomplished, then gratitude flows naturally, and that natural gratitude is the creative act complete. You do not need to force it. You only need to imagine vividly enough that gratitude arises of its own accord. When you do, the imaginal act is sealed and the outcome is secured. Over the span of 30 days, you will notice subtle shifts. Circumstances that once felt rigid begin to soften. People respond differently to you. Unexpected opportunities emerge. These are not random events, but the visible echoes of your inner thanksgiving. Gratitude has completed the imaginal scene, and the world is compelled to play its part. It may not unfold in the way your rational mind expects, but it will unfold in harmony with the state you have assumed. This is the nature of the law. Consciousness is the only reality, and gratitude is the evidence of consciousness fulfilled. There will be times when outer appearances seem to contradict your inner conviction. The bank account may not yet show the increase. The body may not yet display the healing. The relationship may not yet seem restored. But these are only shadows of your old inner state. Do not be deceived. Hold firmly to gratitude as though the miracle were already visible. By doing so, you refuse to return to the state of lack, and you anchor yourself in the fulfilled state. Gratitude in these moments is not denial of reality. It is alignment with the greater reality of imagination. When you can thank life, even when the senses argue, you are exercising the faith that makes all things possible. To thank before evidence is to act as the creator, not the beggar. It is to stand in dominion, declaring the end from the beginning. This is the highest form of faith, and it carries within it irresistible creative power. When you can say thank you in the face of contradiction, you are proving that you have shifted states. You are no longer at the mercy of appearances. You are living from imagination, and imagination always becomes fact. Hold this posture for 30 days, and you will see the proof. Gratitude in adversity is not weakness. It is the mightiest strength, for it demonstrates that you trust the unseen more than the seen. Every day that you live in this way, you are building a new foundation. Gratitude becomes the air you breathe, the lens through which you see life. And as it becomes natural, the miraculous becomes natural as well. You will look back after 30 days and realize that what once seemed extraordinary has become ordinary. For miracles are simply the natural expressions of sustained states. Gratitude makes that state unshakable. And from that unshakable state, your new world arises. Do not reserve gratitude for the moments when everything appears to be going your way. The true test of faith is to hold the song of thanksgiving when the outer world presents the opposite picture. Gratitude in adversity is the evidence that you have withdrawn your allegiance from the realm of appearances and anchored yourself in imagination. Anyone can feel thankful when the body is healed, the money is in hand, or the relationship is restored. But to give thanks before any outward change is the mark of mastery. It is the refusal to be persuaded by the senses, the quiet declaration that imagination alone is reality. In those moments when conditions seem dark, gratitude is the torch that lights your path. It keeps your focus fixed on the unseen, fulfillment rather than the seen lack. When you stand in gratitude during times of trial, you are not ignoring what the senses tell you. You are transcending them. You are declaring that appearances are temporary shadows, and the substance of reality lies in consciousness. Each time you choose to say thank you in the midst of contradiction, you are exercising the power that reshapes the world. Gratitude in adversity is not a denial of what exists. It is the affirmation of a greater truth already unfolding. You are saying to life, I know who I am. I know what I possess, and I will not be moved. This steadiness of heart is what compels the miraculous to emerge. Think of a seed planted in the ground. The soil above it may seem heavy and unyielding, yet within the seed the life force is pushing upward. The farmer does not despair because he cannot see the sprout on the first day. He trusts the process and continues to water the soil. Gratitude in adversity is that watering. Though the soil of circumstances looks unchanged, you thank life as if the plant were already blossoming. And in time, the sprout pushes through and the harvest follows. To complain during adversity is to dig up the seed. To give thanks is to let the process complete itself. The strength of gratitude in adversity lies in its power to anchor you in a higher state. When difficulties arise, the temptation is to sink into fear, doubt, or complaint. But gratitude lifts you above that. It reminds you that circumstances are the echoes of past states and have no power to define what comes next. When you remain thankful, you remain in the state of fulfillment, and that state must generate new conditions in harmony with itself. In this way, gratitude becomes a shield, protecting you from the pull of appearances and keeping you fixed in the end you have chosen. To cultivate this practice, begin each day with a deliberate choice to thank life for what is unseen. If there is a financial challenge, thank life for the abundance already secured. If the body is in pain, thank life for the health already restored. If relationships seem strained, thank life for the love already reconciled. You are not lying to yourself. You are affirming the reality of imagination. You are choosing to live from the fulfilled state rather than from the evidence of the senses. This choice, repeated daily, reshapes your consciousness until gratitude in adversity becomes your natural response. And when gratitude is your natural response, miracles cannot be withheld. This brings you to the great promise of inevitable miracles within 30 days. Miracles are not the random gifts of chance. They are the natural outflow of consciousness, sustained in fulfillment. Gratitude is the vibration that keeps you in that state. And 30 days of unwavering gratitude creates results too clear to ignore. Consciousness is exact. What you consistently feel and affirm must externalize itself. If for 30 days your inner speech is thank you, if for 30 days your heart celebrates the unseen as though it were visible, then the law must yield evidence. Think of 30 days not as a countdown, but as an unfolding. Each day you hold to gratitude, you are watering the invisible seeds planted in imagination. With each passing day, the roots grow deeper. The sprout rises higher until suddenly it breaks the surface, and you see what was hidden all along. Gratitude ensures that you do not uproot the seed with impatience or doubt. It keeps you steady, unwavering, and aligned. When the 30th day comes, you will look back and realize that the miracle did not arrive suddenly. It had been growing quietly within you all along, waiting for the fullness of time to reveal itself. Miracles appear inevitable because they are the natural harvest of sustained gratitude. You are not trying to force them into being. You are aligning yourself with the state where they already exist. Gratitude tunes you to that frequency. It dissolves resistance, clears away fear, and opens the channel for manifestation. For 30 days, if you hold this state, the law has no choice but to externalize it. The outer world is compelled to echo the inner world. And if your inner world is saturated with thanksgiving, then your outer world must mirror it in the form of blessings, opportunities, and transformations. You will notice how the miraculous begins to touch every area of life. Financial increase may appear in unexpected ways. Relationships may heal with surprising ease. The body may respond with renewed strength. New doors may open where none seemed possible before. These are the signs of consciousness expressing itself. They are not accidents. They are the inevitable fruit of living in gratitude. And because gratitude feels so natural and joyful, the process becomes effortless. You are not straining to manifest. You are simply enjoying the state of fulfillment, and life responds in kind. The promise of 30 days is not meant to bind you to a rigid timeline, but to show you the power of persistence. Most people waver after a few days, allowing doubt or impatience to uproot their efforts. But if you remain steady, if you hold the song of gratitude for 30 days without yielding, the results will come. This is the demonstration of law. It is not a matter of luck or chance. It is the inevitable consequence of sustained states. Gratitude makes that state unshakable, and from that state, miracles emerge as naturally as sunrise. The transformation you witness after 30 days will not only change your circumstances, it will change your identity. You will know yourself as the operant power, the one who creates by assumption. Gratitude will no longer be a practice you force, but a state you inhabit. And from that state, You will live a life where miracles are not rare events, but daily occurrences. They will become the natural atmosphere of your being. For you have discovered the secret that gratitude is both the evidence and the cause of fulfillment.